Hello, church. Welcome back. Remember, we are in the middle of Holy Week. All this week, we should be thinking about Jesus' love and what he did for us on Easter. So like I said, all of our Bible stories this week are going to be pointing towards Jesus and Easter, which is the most important part of this week. So here we go. This story is titled Washed with Tears. And it takes place just before Easter happened. Probably a couple days leading up before Easter. One night, Jesus went to dinner at an important leader's house. The important leader invited all of his important friends. They were all just sitting down to eat when a woman walked in. She had not been invited, but everyone knew who she was. "Who does she think she is?" the guests whispered. "How dare she?" The woman was a big sinner, and everybody knew it. It was easy to see, after all. She had broken all the rules and done many bad things. The woman walked straight up to Jesus, past all those important people, right to Jesus. She was carrying very expensive perfume. Now, the thing about perfume back then was that it didn't come in bottles, it came in jars. And the jars were made out of precious stone like alabaster. But here's the catch. The jars didn't have a lid or a stopper or anything. So the only way you got the perfume out was if you broke the jar. Once you broke the jar, that was it. You had no more. Most people didn't use perfume because it was too precious. They just kept it on a shelf and looked at it. So you see, this perfume was her most precious thing in all the world. It was her treasure. The woman knelt down before Jesus just like he was a king. She held Jesus' feet in her hands and began to cry as she thought about the sin that she had in her life and the love that Jesus had for her. Her tears fell onto Jesus' feet, washing them. She kissed his feet and dried them with her long, dark hair. And then she did something strange. She broke the jar and poured the perfume all over his feet. Everybody gasped. What a waste! Over someone's feet? Such expensive perfume! It smelled like lilies in a field. Jesus looked at the woman and he smiled at her. What she had done was the most wonderful thing. Just as Samuel had anointed David, God's true king, all those years before, so this woman had anointed Jesus, not with oil, but with her tears. The important people were cross. They thought Jesus should not be kind to this woman. That woman is a sinner, they grumbled. We're the good ones. And it's true, they did look good from the outside. After all, they were keeping all the rules. But Jesus could see inside of people. And he saw in their hearts. He saw that they did not love God and they did not love people. They were running away from God, and they thought they didn't need a rescuer. They thought they were good enough because they kept all the rules. But sin had stopped their hearts from working properly. And their hearts were hard and cold. This woman knows she's a sinner, Jesus told them. She knows she'll never be good enough. She knows she needs me to rescue her. That is why she loves me so much. Now get this. You look down on this woman because you don't look up to God. She is sinful on the outside, but you are sinful on the inside. Ooh, the important people shook with anger. Jesus turned to the woman and smiled. Your sins are forgiven, he said. You trusted me, and God has rescued you. Who does Jesus think he is? The important people whispered. Only God can forgive sins. And they didn't believe that Jesus was God. The more Jesus loved people and helped them, the more the important people and the leaders hated him. They were afraid people would follow Jesus instead of them. They were jealous and angry enough to kill Jesus. That story is emotionally so heavy. It is so beautiful, like all the stories in the Bible. This woman, covered in sin, knew there was only one way to be saved from sin. She saw what most other people were not able to see yet. She is the hero of this story, the sinful, broken woman. The Bible is so beautiful in that way. She goes to Jesus. She ignores all those important people, all the angry people who has the sin in their heart. She goes right to Jesus. And she gives him the best she has. That perfume was tremendously expensive. It was probably the most expensive thing she had in the whole world. So she sacrificed everything she had for Jesus. And what did Jesus do? Think about in the story, what did Jesus do to the woman? He smiled at her. Oh, that is the crux of the entire Bible. God smiling at people. Sinful, broken people who have surrendered their lives, surrendered everything to him. And that is just what Jesus does at the end of this week. Those angry people, they were so angry they wanted to kill him. And Jesus said, I will be here on earth and I will love people even if it kills me. So reflect upon those things. Happy Holy Week.